Hello everyone, this is D. Chiranjeevi, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Aditya University. Today I am going to discuss control loop statements in programming for problem solving using C. At the end of this lecture, student will be able to discuss control loop statements like for loop, while loop, do while loop. While loop and for loop are pre-testing loops and do while is the post-testing loop, and while and for also known as entry checking loop. Entry checking loops, and do while is exit checking loop. These entry checking loops will check the condition first. If the condition is true, then control will be transferred to the body. If condition is false, control will be transferred to outside the loop. In exit checking loop or post testing loop, first at least one time it will display the statements which are there in the do block, then it will check the condition. If the condition is true, again it will print the statements which are available in do block, else otherwise control will be transferred to outside the while loop. And why do we need loop statements? Let's take an example. If we need to print a word hello 500 times, shall we use 500 times a printf statement? Obviously not. It means we need some programming facility to repeat certain works. Such facility available in the form of looping statements. The main idea of loop is to repeat an action or series of actions. But when to stop loop? In the flow chart, you can understand again and again the control flow is executing. Now when to stop? It never stopped. So this is example of infinite loop. Now what is the solution to stop the iteration? Now the solution is to tell the loop by specifying a condition. Okay, if we use a condition, it will stop. When the condition is satisfied, then loop will stop. Now loop is having two parts, body part and condition part. In body, a block of statements will be there, and when the condition is true, this body part will execute. And condition, now it is used to control the iteration, either to continue or stop. If the condition is true, control will be transferred to body. From there again control will be transferred to condition. Now if you look at the flow chart, you will understand condition is true, repeated action is performing, again control is transferred to condition. If condition again true, again repeated action will be performed, again control will be transferred to condition. If condition is false, control then transferred to, now it will stop, that is false. Then for loop, in this for loop we are having three parts, that is initialization, condition, updation. And now what is initialization? The starting point where you want to start, so that is initialization. And in condition we will specify where we will stop the loop, and in updation we will specify how much value you want to increase or update, so that will be specified in the update. Now I will explain in for loop to print 10 to 1 with an example of program. So we need to print 10 to 1. So the starting point is 10 and then we need to print up to 1. So here I am declared a variable that is n, and then my initialization I have specified my n value is 10, and then in condition I specified because I want to print up to 1. You can write this condition either n greater than or equal to 1 or n greater than 0. Then I need to print 10, 9, 8, 7. So 1 value I need to reduce, so updation I have done by -1. Okay, so initially the n value is 10. Now it will check n greater than 0, so that is n value 10, so 10 greater than 0. If it is true, control will be transferred to body. So from initialization it went to condition. Now from condition is true, so control transfer to body. Now it is printing n value, so right now n value 10, so 10 is printed. From here control again transferred to updation. Now n equal to n minus 1, so n minus 1 means n value now became 9. Okay, 9. From here again it will transfer to condition. Now n value currently 9, so 9 greater than 0, so that is true. If true, again you are printing n value, so control will be transferred to body. So in body 9 is printed. After that again control transferred to updation. So in updation again n value will be updated. So here 9 greater than 0, that is true, that's why 9 printed. Now after updation, now n minus 1, so n value now 8, Now it will check 8 greater than 0. So true, you are printing 8. The same manner you will update up to n value 1, 1 greater than 0, it is true. So 1 is finally printed. Then if you, after printing 1, control will be transferred to updation. So 1 minus 1, so that is 0. So now n value 0. Now we will check 0 greater than 0, false. If condition is false, control will be transferred to outside the loop. So outside the loop nothing is there. Now then curly brace. So curly brace means main function execution is over, so it will stop. Now while loop. Now this is also a entry checking loop. While loop is also having first condition, then we will be having block of statements, then we will update. Okay, this is the syntax of while loop. Yeah, in condition itself we will specify up to when loop will run. This condition is true, the loop will repeatedly execute. Okay, if this loop, if it is runs always, then you can call this as a infinite loop. Now I will explain this while loop within program, so that I am printing 10 to 1 again. So here also I taken a variable, that is n. So n value initially having 10. So now I need to print up to 0, up to 1. So I written a condition, either you can write n greater than or equal to 1 or n greater than 0. So written n greater than 0. So here I am writing 10 greater than 0. So that is true. So if it is true, control will be transferred to the body. So in body you are printing n value. So n value currently 10. So n is printed in the output, that is 10, and then you are decrementing n by minus 1. So n value 10. So 10 minus 1, that is 9. So n value 9. So again it will check from here, it will control will be transferred to condition. So 9 greater than 0. So this is true. If this is true, again control transferred to the body. Now in body you are printing n. So 9 will be printed. Then again it will update. So 9 minus 1. So n value now 8. After that again control will be transferred to condition. So 8 greater than 0. So that is true. So if it is true, 8 will be printed. Similarly it will true up to 1. So after printing n value 1, so 1 greater than 0, so true. Now it will update. So n value became 0. Now it will check after updating n value 0, 0 greater than 0, that is false. If it is false, control will be transferred to outside the loop. So outside the loop nothing is there, curly brace for out of the main function. So now program execution is over, so it will terminate. So do while loop. So do while is a post testing loop or exit checking loop. So the syntax is, first there is a do block and then while condition is there. In do while loop we will be having semicolon with the while loop. Generally in loops we will not use semicolon, but in do while loop you must use a semicolon with the while condition. In do while loop it will execute at least once before checking the condition. Okay, if the condition is true, then only it will repeat, otherwise it will terminate. By looking at the flowchart you can understand, first it is printing, then it is checking condition. If condition is true, again it is displaying whatever statements are there, again it is checking condition. If condition is false, then it is terminating. Now I will explain do while loop with the same example, that is to print 10 to 1 numbers. Now if you see, the program execution will start from main function, then I have declared a variable and initialized a value, that is 10. So n value I have taken 10. Now control will be transferred to do. Now here what you are doing, n value you are printing, so n value 10 is printed. Then you updated the n value, n minus 1. So if you update n value minus 1, so n value now 9. After that control will be transferred to this while loop. Okay, now currently n value 9, so 9 greater than 0, so 9 greater than 0 is true, so it printed 2. But when it is printing 10, it not checked the condition, but it still printed the n value. So that is the reason this do while loop at least one time it will display, then it is checking the condition. So 9 greater than 0, true. If it is true, control will be transferred to do block body. Now n value 9, so 9 is printed. Now it will update n minus 1, so n minus 1 n value became 8. Now after updating, again it is checking n greater than 0, so 8 greater than 0, so that is true. If it is true, again it control will be transferred to do block body. Now it is printing n value, so n value currently 8, so 8 is printing. Similarly n value up to 1 greater than 0, it is printing all these values. Then after printing 1, then n will update, so n value became 0. Now if it is 0, now you will check the condition 0 greater than 0, false. If it is false, control will be transferred to downwards. So execution is over, so it will terminate. Now the difference between while and do while. So while is a pre-testing loop, do while is a post-testing loop. In while loop, you specify the condition at the top, while in do while you specify the condition at the bottom. In while loop, the body statements are executed when the condition is true or satisfied, and in do while loop, body statements are executed at least once even if the expression value evaluated to false or condition is false. This while loop is also known as entry checking or entry control loop, and do while is exit control loop. The syntax already I have discussed. You cannot use any semicolon with entry checking loops for and while, and with do while loop we need to use semicolon at the end of the while loop. So examples for this pre-testing loop: for loop, while loop. Okay, now for do while example, do while only. Okay, now summary of this lecture is, I have discussed for loop, while loop, do while loop, and then difference between pre-testing and post-testing loop. Thank you.